Hello my lovely viewers and my dear students, welcome to my channel Mathematics Made Easy. In today's video we are going to be doing a very important topic for grade 9 math, and this is the topic of parabolas. So the video is going to talk about how to find the equation of parabolas, and this is going to be very helpful video for all the girls or boys who are going to be giving the exams for the coming days, and this is going to be a very helpful revision video. So make sure you watch the video till the end, and if you like the video and found it useful, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel Mathematics Made Easy, and share this video with your friends also. So the learning objective of today's session is going to be learning how to find the equation of a parabola, how to derive that equation when you are given a point, the focus, and the equation of a line, the directrix. And further you are going to see like how you will find the intersection points of linear and quadratic functions. So one will be a linear function like a straight line, the another one will be a quadratic function whose graph will be a parabola. So before we dive into the topic for today, equation of parabola, and solve questions and problems on that, let me define conic sections for you. So conic sections are the different curves that you get or that are obtained when the intersection of the surface of a cone happens with a plane. So the most common example of a conic section is what you've covered in the last video, that was on circles. So if you see this cone, the red cone that you have, and these are like two cones, one on top of each other with the vertex joining. Then you take the section of the cone which is at bottom and you cut it with a plane which is parallel to the base of the cone. Then you get this yellow boundary or the intersection, which is the circle. So that was one type of conic section. The next one that is possible is ellipse, which we will do in another video. But for today, the parabola is what we are focusing on. So if you see, this is a parabola, a U-shaped curve that you get. And if you ask the equation of parabola, then we are going to be looking at in the slides to come. But just for your information for now, parabola is the graph that you get, it is the curve that you get when this conic section is cut by this blue plane, and as you can see, it is U-shaped. There's also different type of curve, hyperbola, that is possible, and this again will be covered in another video. So for today, let's focus on the parabola. So let me define a parabola for you. So a parabola can be defined as the set of all points that are at the same distance from a given point called the focus. So focus is going to be the fixed point, as you can see. So this is the U-shaped black curve of the parabola. The point at which it starts, this blue dot, is the vertex, and the focus is this red dot that you see. So it's a fixed point, and we are very concerned about this focus. Also, it is the parabola has the same distance from the given line, which is the directrix. It is this fixed red line that you see. So in fact, the definition itself will help you, as you will see in the next slide and the slides to come, how we can find the equation of parabola using this fixed point focus and the fixed line directrix. So just keep in mind that this distance is going to be same, the distance of the points of parabola from the focus and the distance of the point on the parabola from this fixed line directrix. So this is your focus, this is your directrix. So these two things are going to be very important. In the middle you have this blue line, which is the axis of symmetry. From this directrix, the parabola is at the same distance as it is from the focus. This is going to be a central point. Vertex I've already told you, and this red line is the lattice rectum. So these 5 points are very important that you should know about a parabola. And let me now define the lattice rectum also. The lattice rectum is a line segment that goes through the focus. As you can see, this red line is passing through this red point, which is the focus, and definitely it is perpendicular to the axis of symmetry. So this blue dotted line is the axis of symmetry, and your lattice rectum is at a 90 degrees to it, so perpendicular for sure. And the endpoints of the lattice rectum are lying on the parabola. So now, the basis for solving parabola questions. The rule for solving the equation of parabola comes from the definition. So a parabola can be defined using a fixed point called the focus and the fixed line called the directrix. So this is going to be our mantra for today, which we are going to be using for solving problems. And again, I've already defined this for you. So let me just mark a little things here which will make the concept more easy. So this dot, this focus, I'm marking with point capital F. This is any point on the parabola, so let me take point P, and this is point on the directrix, so let me take it capital D. So I hope you are able to see the 3 points F, P and D very clearly. F point is the point of focus of parabola. Capital P denotes any point on parabola. Capital D denotes any point on directrix. So what we are going to be using, the definition as I told you. So we know parabola is the graph of a quadratic function. So if a function is given to you with degree 2 like this, the graph will be parabola. Geometrically, it is the set of all points in a plane which are equidistant. Equidistant means at equal distance from the focus and the directrix. So this is the central point, very, very important. And you also have the definition of directrix. So the point that we'll be using for solving parabola question will be PF. This is the distance of the point P on the parabola to the focus, and PD. Both are going to be equal. This is going to be a central, very, very important point. PF equal to PD. These two distances are going to be equal, and now we'll see an example how we can use this using distance formula to get the equation. So let's get on with the question now. Okay, so let's see the first question here, where you need to write an equation for the parabola, the focus and this point. Focus is this fixed point. Let us write this fixed point as capital F, the focus coordinate 0, -2. So this is how it looks on the graph. The graph of the parabola is what you need to write. So this blue curve you need to define. How does the equation look like? So you first graph the point and then you graph the directrix. So the equation of the directrix is y equal to 2. So it is going to be parallel to the x-axis, and this orange line here denotes the directrix. So I'm just writing it here for you. F is already the focus. Now you are sketching a U-shaped curve for the parabola. It's a rough curve because till now you don't know the equation, and then the point F and directrix you have shown here. So let capital P x comma y be any point on the parabola. So as you saw in the last slide, we are going to be using the fact that PF is equal to PD by the definition of the parabola. The distance of any point P on the parabola is going to be at the same distance from the focus as from the directrix. So this is step 1. Let's move to step 2 now. Okay, now in step 2, we are going to take the point D, which is going to be on the directrix. So let's see what will be the coordinates. Now, this is how we have marked on the orange directrix the point D, and the equation of the directrix is y equal to 2. So definitely the y coordinate will be 2. Now the x coordinate can lie anywhere on this line. So let's keep it a general x here. So this is the coordinate of the point D. Now the point D, which is lying on this directrix, is such that PD is perpendicular to the line y equal to 2. So you can see if you join P point, the point on the parabola, x comma y with the directrix point D, this is perpendicular. So this is PD, this is PF. So I hope you can visualize that this distance PD and PF are going to be equal. Let's use that now for step 3. Now in step 3, we are using the fact that PF and PD both are equal, and to find this distance we are going to be using the distance formula. In case you have forgotten, if you have 2 points A x1 comma y1, you know the coordinates, B x2 comma y2, then distance formula is a formula that helps you to calculate the distance between these 2 points. I'm calculating the distance AB here will be the square root of the squares. So you take the square of the x coordinate first, so x2 minus x1 and then you add it to the square of the difference of the y coordinates, y2 minus y1. This is your distance formula. We have used the distance formula in this slide to calculate the two distance PD and PF, both of them, and then the next step we are going to be putting them equal. So PD, if you can see, both x coordinates will cancel, so will be 0, and you're just left with y minus 2. So this is y minus 2 whole square of PD. Then PF is again x minus 0. The y coordinate for focus is, the x coordinate for focus is 0, so it is going to be x square only, and then y minus of minus 2, so negative and negative will become positive. So we have these two distances, let's put them equal now. So last and final step, by definition of parabola, now I've explained this many times, how these are equal. So we are going to remove the square root by squaring both the sides. And when you do that, what you get is this step. So let's now use a little bit of algebra. So we are going to be expanding y minus 2 whole square, y plus 2 whole square. So if you remember from your previous classes, the square is expanded using algebra like this. So a square plus b square, both are positive, and because of the negative sign, the product negative 2ab will have a negative sign. Similarly, for a plus b whole square, it will be a square plus b square, but because this is positive, so it is going to be plus of 2ab. So let's use these two to expand. So this is y square minus 2 times 2, that is negative 4, times 2 square, which is 4. So I'm just directly put the value. Now for y plus 2 whole square, again the same thing. I'm using the positive identity now. So 4y plus 4. So let's see what will cancel. We are going to be now simplifying on both sides. So I hope you can observe y square and y square will collapse. 4 and 4 will also cancel. So you are left with this expression. Now when you have to simplify this more, you can keep your x square on the right only, and let's take plus 4y on the left so that it can be combined with the negative 4y already there. So it changes the sign and it becomes negative. So this is negative 8y equal to x square. Now before we move to the final answer, we need to do more simplification. So I can write this as y equal to 1 over, so I'm dividing both sides with the negative 8 x square. So yes, this is the equation of the parabola. Let's summarize now the answer for this question. So in this question, we have got the equation of the parabola with focus at this point, and Directrix equation was given to you as y equal to negative 1 by 8 x squared. That's the final equation of the parabola. Okay, so in the last example, we saw how we can follow the 4 steps to reach to the answer. On this slide, I have summarized that same question again for you with all the 4 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4 together. So just give it a read through, and I'm quite sure that any question that now comes, you will be able to solve. So let's try some more questions. So this is one question which I want you to try. It is of the same type where you need to find the equation of the parabola, and you are given the two things, the focus, the fixed point, and the fixed line, the directrix. So the equation of the directrix is given. Follow the same steps as I showed you in the last example, 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to your answer. And then after you have tried solving with all the steps in your notebook, you can check your answer. It will come out to be A for you. So try yourself, and when you are solving in your notebook, follow all the steps that I've taught you. Write all steps in detail, show the working so that you reach to the correct answer. Okay, so let's now try another very important question. I'm going to be putting here stars to let you know how important this question is for your exam. Now if you read the question, definitely it's a word problem, and when you are reading it, at least read 2 times and highlight the important numbers or the important information given. So a forensic scientist is studying the impression of a person's teeth. The impression can be modeled by a parabola. So this is your keyword which tells you this is a question on parabola. And then you have the focus given. So this is your coordinates of the focus, point F. You also have the line directrix, its equation is given to you. So these are all important things, and definitely it's a question on parabola where you need to find the equation. Now this is a multiple choice question, so you just need to pick up the correct option. But if you look at all the options, they look very similar and confusing. Without solving the question in detail, you will not be able to choose the correct answer. So now we are going to be solving this question stepwise, and as you see, it's a word problem, so don't get confused looking at it that okay, which topic it is. The keywords I've highlighted which will help you to know that this is a question on equation on parabola. So let's start the question, and we are going to use the same key point, that the point P, which is any random point x comma y, is going to be equidistant from the focus and the directrix. So the point D here, which is lying on the directrix, will be any coordinate x with the y coordinate as the number given. So here the only difference that you see is in the numbers. Here you also have some fractions given. So just be careful with your calculation. So let's solve now, and we are going to be now using distance formula. So for finding PF, now straight away I'm just actually squaring the size. I'm not putting any square roots to just make it more easy. So P and F, so x minus 6 whole square plus y minus 35 over 8 whole square is equal to PD. So for P and D, the x coordinate are same. Next step it will cancel, and then y minus 29 by 8. Now I want you to notice how I'm going to be simplifying this whole thing, because if you do a mistake or if you mess up with the calculation or do one step wrong, then the final answer will be wrong. So I'm just showing you one method of simplification which I found the most easiest and quickest. So what I'm going to be doing, x I will keep here, and this term I'm going to move on the other side so that I can combine with the like term of y. So on the right it will become y minus 29 by 8 whole square, and because it was positive on the left, when it goes on the right it will change sign. So this is what you get on the right. Left is still the same side. Okay, now I'm going to be using a little bit of algebra to make this simplification, to make this expansion more easy. Now, if you look at all four options, you see some term common. X minus 6 whole square is there in all the four options. That means I need not open this. So there is no need to expand. If you do the expansion here, again in the end it will become very long answer and you will have to come back to this step. So better you leave it like this, because you see in all options this is the part common. So we are not going to touch the left side, we are going to keep it like that. Let's simplify the right side. Now observe, you have squares in both terms. Observe y is same. Observe that the second term is fraction. So we can use here the algebra. We'll take help of algebra, and we'll be using the difference of square identity, because here is one term whole square difference with the second term whole square. So we will use a square minus b square as a plus b multiplied with a minus b. This is the difference of square identity. I hope you remember from your algebra and your previous class. So we are going to be using this here. If you see, the first term is common. This is my value of a. I will write here which value I'm going to be taking. So the first term is the square. So a is going to be y minus 29 by 8. This is the first term. And b is going to be the second term. So b will be y minus 35 by 8. Now, let's move to the simplification. We'll do one more step and then we'll move it to the next slide. So a plus b means I'm going to add these two. So when I add y with y, or let me just write it like that. So I'm adding the two terms for the first step, and then there is multiplication in between. So I will multiply with the division. So first term is as it is, and when I do minus of b, so minus of b means minus of this term. So it will change sign. So minus y, and this negative will become positive. Now let's simplify more. Let's see if something is cancelling. So for the first bracket, y and y will combine to give 2y. These two fractions also we can combine. And in the second one, your y is cancelling. And then we can combine these two. So let's move to the next slide and then simplify and summarize the solution. I told you what simplification we are doing here is the easiest one possible, and from the last slide we got on the left x minus x whole square. On the right we combined y with y to get 2y, and then we also combined 35 by 8 with 29 by 8. So these two fractions, and here it was negative sign, so let me change. Okay. The second bracket where you did a minus b, you y and y cancel, so you are just left with 35 over 8 minus 29 over 8. So now you see these are simple numbers, calculation will not be easy. Denominators are same for this also, so let's just combine the numerators. Negative 35, negative 29, so negative sign, and we add 29 with 35, so that gives you 64 by 8. Denominator is same, so I keep it 8. 35 minus 29, that's 6. Now all are even numbers. Let's simplify them to the best of our ability and give the answer in simplest fraction. So I'm going to be first simplifying this part. So this is y minus 8 times, and then I'll simplify this part so I can divide with 2. So this is 3 over 4. Now in the first bracket I can take a 2 common. So 2 times y minus 4 multiplied with 3 by 4. So let's cancel the common terms again. This gives you 2. So on the right you have 3 by 2 times y minus 4, and on the left you have the square. Now if you go back to the previous slide and look at the options, then in your option you are given all answers with the value of y. So I may just simplify this by distributing now. So 3 divided by 2y minus 3 multiplied with 4. That's what you get. So this simplifies to the value 3 by 2y, and here it will be just a 6 which is left. Okay, now let's now keep y on this side and remove everything else. So this becomes 3 by 2y. This 6 I'm going to move to the other side, so it becomes x minus 6 plus 6. Now we need the value of y. That means we'll multiply both sides with the reciprocal of this, so 2 by 3 and 2 by 3. And now comes the final solution. So y, now on the right you just have y is going to be equal to 2 by 3 times x minus 6 whole square plus 4. So how did you get this 4? You distributed 2 by 3 to 6. So you are multiplying 2 by 3 to the first term also, 2 by 3 to the second term also. So from there you get this answer. So final solution is this one. If you go back, this is option number E. So for the multiple choice, C is the answer. Why I have shown you the explanation here, so that you know the working, so that you know the easiest way of simplification and the final solution.